All right. So, this thing stop freaking out. Good grief, this is so annoying. There we go. Camera's up and running. Comic page almost done, actually. We just need to do a little bit more on this one, and then we'll be moving on to the next page. I'm hoping to get a few panels done today. We'll see. The next page, I can show the next page real quick. I kind of want to rethink. I want to rethink this page a little bit. I'm not happy with this panel. So I'll actually have to like brainstorm that. These two panels, I might just work on these two panels today. I don't know. I don't know if I'll get to this one. I could bring this in. Yes, we are officially on the comic arc of everything. This one I'll probably figure out a little bit more. What I'll probably do is have this one be him wrapping the rope around his neck, this one dragging him over to the edge of the boat, and then him holding it over. I'll probably do that. But these two, I mean, I'm gonna have to like clear this up. I'm gonna have to make this a little bit clearer, what's going on here. But this one, I'm actually really happy with this page and this panel. But for now, we're not going to worry about that because we have ourselves a little bit of line work to do for this one. I need to get myself into a good spot here. But yeah, this is a comic that I've been working on for about 4 years now. And this is the last part of chapter 3. The rest of chapter 3 is actually available to be read. It's down below in the description. So if you want to catch up on the story and see why in the world, well, it's not going to make a ton of sense outside of the context of the actual chapter part. But if you want to know who this gentleman is who's going to be breaking this guy's back against this mast, and whose mask that is, then you should go read it. If only you hadn't lost your Apple Pencil. Oh, that sucks. I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, those things, those are not cheap. There are like third-party alternatives to them that aren't as expensive, but I don't know how good they are. I've heard decent things, but it might be worth looking into as a replacement. But yeah, I'm actually, so I consider myself a much better animator than and filmmaker and then comic maker. So I'm kind of figuring it out as well. Although I will say this chapter in particular, this part of the chapter and this chapter overall is, I think, some of my best work so far. Which makes me happy because it means I'm getting better. I'm also just putting in more time into like actually achieving a good result. But I am really happy with how a lot of these pages have turned out. Chapter 4 was all right, but or chapter 4. Chapter 2 was all right, but there's certain things with the art that I wish was a little bit stronger. I'm actually very tempted to, like, after everything's done, go back and fix some of the layouts of chapter 2. We'll see though. I might just keep it as it is because, you know, at the end of the day, it's all kind of part of the journey of the story. So. Ooh, who's this? Skip Cloud, Youngblood. I'm writing that down. But yeah, no, so big things to work on for just like really general fundamental things to work on for solid page layout is I mean, you have all your fundamentals and stuff like that, but one of the biggest things is just composition, making a really readable image. And so like having your subject, being able to highlight your subject, being able to frame your subject, being really strong with poses. Everything in comics is intention. You're always wanting to show the intention, even if, like, let's say it's a page with not a lot going on. It's kind of like what I was talking about last time. You always want a page to have some drama to it, no matter what. Even if it's like, hold on, let's put you there. Even if it's like, oh, but there's nothing going on. It's like, okay, but like, what's going through the head of the characters? What, like, where are they trying to get to? What are, like something's got to be happening, right? You don't want your panels to be just space filler, basically, right? You know, that's the equivalent. That's the equivalent of a scene in a movie that like has no point, right? It's like, okay, why did you have that? It didn't do anything. That was just a really boring scene, you know. It's a lot easier to do that though with comics because, you know, a comic is just one image. So you think to yourself, it's just one image, right? Just throw it in there, you know. But you don't really want to do that. You want everything to be intentional as best you can. It can be hot. It can be tough. It's tougher than you think sometimes. But that's why like being able to really show a character's intention is really important, right? So anticipation, like how are they preparing to move and what does that communicate? Which anticipation is really important as well in animation. It's one of the primary principles. But it's also why I like capes and stuff like that, because it implies movement that maybe just happened or is happening, but like it gives a lot of life to a still scene, which is actually something I picked up not from a comic artist but from a filmmaker, Kira Kurosawa, who did like Seven Samurai. This is a really popular one, but he did a lot more than that. Like a lot more than that. But one of his kind of his own kind of personal principles was use the nature of the scene, whether it be wind or rain or, you know, the environment, to also tell the story. Don't let the environment be kind of passive in and of itself. Use the movement to push the composition, the narrative. Very, very, very good storytelling. Like squash and stretch. Yeah, squash and stretch is another principle. Squash and stretch is sort of usable in comics. Of course, it's not as like exaggeratable, I would say, as animation. I mean, animation, you can like draw like pancake people, right? His resume must be insane. I mean, he made films for 50 years, 60 years. Was it 60 years? Something like that. I mean, his last film was like 1995. Oh, let me look it up real quick. Kira Kurosawa last film. Okay, it was 1993. I think. Let me take a look. Hold on. He was born in 1910, I think it said. Hold on. Yeah. So he was 88, I think, when he passed away. Let's see. Okay, that's all based on. I don't want that. I want, what did he work on? Hold on. He's a director. So yeah, 1993. Oh, my gosh, come on. Matadeo. 1993, that was his last film. So yeah, so basically from, let's see, what was his first directorial movie? 1943 was the first one. So 1993. So yeah, 40 would be 80, so 50 years. He worked for 50 years. Yeah, so he learned some stuff. He taught some stuff as well to the industry as a whole. So yeah, definitely inspiring. The other important thing worth noting with Akira Kurosawa is he was a painter, apparently, which really shows in some of his movies, like a lot of his movies. The sense of composition is really strong. So that's actually another really good thing to do if you are interested in comics. If you're interested in visual arts in general, taking a painting is so good. It's so good to do. But there's a lot that you can learn from painting, especially like story-wise and everything like that, and especially for comics. Because again, composition. I need to draw the little tassel things here. I don't need to worry about that. And there's no markings on any of this. It's all, I am gonna do the feathers though, falling out, the rest of the feathers. Honestly, though, like the big thing that the biggest step that you can do with a comic, though, and what I really ultimately like, what sent me on this journey has kept me going is like, don't be afraid to make a simple page. You know, you see like all these pages, and like the ones that are really like always talked about and stuff like that, that like, you know, do really crazy things in like the margins and or like use a really creative panel layout and stuff like that. And that's great to study, but it can also kind of be paralyzing, because you think to yourself, oh man, I need to like always do something like really fantastic with my panels, or else it's going to be boring. It's like, no, you really don't. So my the principle that I started with when I first started doing the comic is I took a basic standard American 9-panel layout, and I said I'm just gonna like create variations on this. So I had my page, right, and typically like you can always break a page down. If I didn't know what to do, I knew I could always just break a page down into, and we're gonna pretend these are even to even squares. And then I could think, okay, what do I want to be bigger and what do I want to be smaller? Because maybe I want to have a part in the middle of the scene where these panels are together, right? And all of a sudden I have an interesting layout, right? A really solid layout. Or maybe I wanted to connect these panels here, right? And or maybe, you know, I don't even like need this panel here, Like maybe I have like the character like outside of a panel there or something like that. And that's all I did. Is I basically just started there. I started with a really simple layout, and I just would create variations on that to give myself ideas. So sort of starting with that sense of like structure really helps, even if you're going to be doing something more interesting later with the page. Because then it's just a matter, it's just substitution. It's just like, oh well, what if we just put a circle here instead of a square, right? What does that represent in the story? What if we like I said, take the panel away, or change the angle of the panel, right? What does that do to the eye? Because you're always thinking about the eye. Like that's kind of the point of panels, is to guide the eye, right? You know, so that you know where one ends and one where the other begins. And so you're always kind of asking yourself, well, what does it do to the eye? How does the person read it, right? And at that point, it's you can just kind of play around with it really easily. You don't have to feel like you're inventing just straight from scratch all the time. Let me think. I'm actually gonna. Perspective as well, like how the person reacts to the surroundings. Yeah, I mean that would be. I would put that in. Shoot, how did I describe it? Not anticipation, although that's what you use. In action, right? Like everything is there's something going on, right? And so a person, how they react to their environment is really important, because it places them more in the world, right? You do get a lot of comics where it's just like they could be anywhere, right? Like especially when it's like a comic with way too much dialogue. It's like it doesn't matter that they're, you know, on a space station or, you know, in the middle of Africa or something like that, right? Like that's almost inconsequential, but the surroundings do really matter. Heck, it really matters in this story. That's a big part of the story, is the nature of the world, and why it is the way it is. I mean, you have a fisherman in the desert, right? Like, what's that about? Inaction. Well, not inaction, as in no action happening, but in action, right? Two words. Maybe that's not the right term to use. But yeah, you want to think about like what's going through their head and stuff like that, which is actually also it is funny how many things do crossover with animation, but it makes sense. But that's sort of another thing with animation, where it's like you don't want to animate, like if someone's talking, right? If a character's talking, you don't want to animate necessarily every word that they say, right? Like the emphasis of the word. You want to be animating what they're thinking, right? What's going through their head and how are they showing that, right? It kind of gets further back to the character's like motivation behind their movement and body language and whatnot, as opposed to just like dialogue. That's good. This music is not fitting for this scene. All right, let's see here. I'm actually gonna do a bit of cross hatching, or just hatching. I don't really do cross hatching. I don't much care for the look of cross hatching, honestly. I just stick to hatching. Hatching is enough, because if I do cross hatching, then it just kind of muddies the image, I find. And I've never felt like confident with cross-hatching, and I've never cared for the look. I've seen it done well, and it works, but I just personally, for the way I draw, it's never been something that I've been particularly fond of. To having a lot of internal monologues during action fights. Yeah, that's a big animism. Honestly, like, there's a lot about anime that I just like. I don't like. It's not my favorite. I prefer most other styles, I guess you would call it. Styles of storytelling, styles of even just visuals and stuff like that. There are some series that I like, but I usually go out of my way to find like the most not anime that's around. Just not my cup of tea typically. I've seen quite a bit, but yeah, I don't like that. I think that's pretty much good. I'll give some like just on the hand there. Yeah, we'll call that. So, all in all, that's what the page looks like. Jeez. Man, that must have hurt. Okay, so save that. That's ready for color. Okay, so I need to, what I might end up doing is transferring this panel up there, maybe, or I might change the composition a little bit. I don't know yet. We'll see. Okay, so I kind of remember, like, I know what's going on. I just have to kind of put it together in my head. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do that, and I'm going to sketch it out. So let's do a sketch layer. And this was a big thing for me. So when I started it, so if you go back to the first page of the comic, the very first page, the way I did that page, and a lot of pages after that, like I want to say like the next 2 chapters, and then quite a bit of the 3rd chapter, I would directly ink over basically the equivalent, like this. I would basically directly ink over my thumbs, because at the time I wasn't really big on sketching. I didn't do a lot of sketching. I wasn't really comfortable with it. I worked really clean. Basically my sketch was my final line work. And I was doing a sketch on the first page, but I was like, you know, like, I like this line work a lot. This is basically the line work that I want it to be, right? I'm just gonna use this line work as the final line work. I'm gonna use the sketch essentially as the final line work. And so that's how I did it. And I thought, well, great, I'm cutting out a part of the process so I don't have to sit there and re-sketch the whole dang page, right? Or re-ink the whole page. Basically cutting out cleanup, kind of like what I did with the animation earlier that I was sharing. But eventually, though, what I found was oh boy, I like it was actually taking me more time to do it that way than if I just straight up did a sketch layer, because I was having to figure out so much in the inking phase, that it was just a lot of trial and error. And then you don't have the benefit of being able to be really loose because you're trying to do your final line work. So it was just getting to the point where I was just like, okay, I have to start doing sketch layers. And I started doing that actually kind of in this stretch of pages here, these last 10 pages, or what is this, 25 to 40, like 25 pages. No, I'm sorry, 15 pages. And it's really helped a lot. So I would encourage, don't skip the ink phase or the sketch phase. Kind of get away with it, but it's ultimately not really worth it. It depends on the style as well. During the initial phase, like the art style changed a lot. I think you're the only one. A couple of people laying around here. What's going on? Although you are the only person on the phone side to see you're there, Sticks. What exactly is going on here? Dude's getting his back broken by a 9-foot tall clay golem dude. That's what's going on. But more specifically, there's Sticks. I'm working on a comic. It's actually been a comic I've been working on for 4 years. So if you want to check it out, it's down in the description below. Let's see here. So this is one of his hands. Sketches help with taking on detail and line art. Yeah, there you do get a little bit of that like natural there's a lot of like natural little goodness that comes out of it, you know, as good old Robert Ross would say, happy accidents. Golem's the most useful aspect in a fight. Well, certainly in this fight, that's for sure. Yeah, you want him on your side. You don't want this guy. You don't want to be on the wrong side of this guy's. He's looking to pick a fight. But yeah, he mad. He real mad. He's not happy. Okay, I need to, oh boy, this is gonna be tricky. So, so this is the cloak. The head of the dude's gonna be like here. And we can like kind of like do a bit of that maybe. I'm actually gonna have it hold on, I gotta think about this. What drawing app do I use? It's Clip Studio Paint. It's a really good app. I've been using it for years. Highly recommend anyone to check it out. Got really good tools for comics. Even has tools for animation if you get the bigger version or whatever. Although the Pro Edition, there's two versions. There's the Pro Edition and the EX Edition. EX has all the like fancy tools and stuff like that. But the Pro Edition is the whole brush engine, and the brush engine is really the meat and potatoes of this program. Very, very good. Let me think here. Part of me. Clip Studio Paint broke as he tried to jump in. Yeah. Why is your stuff so delayed? It's because I'm running a delayed chat because I was having some really annoying issues with like bitrate and junk. And it might be better now. I'll have to test it, but I'm just worried about it because like if I start the stream and it's like scuffed, then it's basically scuffed for the whole stream. So at some point I'll probably try turning back down to low latency mode. It seems like it's a lot more stable now, but for a time YouTube was having a lot of trouble. So sorry about that. I'll see about a couple people have commented on that, so I'll see about trying to turn that back on. Have I ever used Adobe Animate? I've never used Adobe Animate itself, but I have used Flash back in the day. In fact, my first film, which actually isn't on my Animated Moon YouTube channel, it's on my other YouTube channel. You know, my personal one, but I used that for my first film, and I said never again, because holy crap, did it kind of suck. Let me see here. Pardon me. Hold on. Let me. I'm gonna have to really sketch this out. It was actually like, I was like so happy when I learned that my brother actually was the one who told me, because he's the one who got it, and it wasn't even Clip Studio Paint back in the day, it was Manga Studio. That's how long I've been using it. He was the one who told me, it was like, oh hey, there are animation tools in Clip Studio Paint now, or Manga Studio now. It's like, oh, oh, that's real good. Because like I was thinking about getting stuff like, if anyone's ever heard of like TV Paint, and TV Paint is used by a lot of European studios actually. For stuff like, if you've ever seen Song of the Sea by Cartoon Saloon, or I think they used it for Wolfwalkers as well, same studio. A number of studios use it, but I looked into that and I was like, oh man, that's a bit expensive, and it's just for animation. It's like, oh boy, so I guess I'll have to save my pennies. But before I got the chance, it was like, oh, Clip Studio Paint has animation tools. I'm like, works for me. I do think that TV Paint does have like a few other tools that are really good, but nothing that's really made me feel like Clip Studio Paint's particularly deficient, at least for the things I want to do. Saw it in Goldbean student films as well as others like CalArts. Yeah, it's a super popular animation software. It's a good one to know, honestly. I do wish I had it for like being able to just say like, oh yeah, I know this program, you know. But it's a bit of an investment for work I might not even be like able to get, because a lot of it's all over in Europe. So I need, okay, so he has a 2-part robe course. I'm not happy with this arm. Let me think about what I wanna do with the arm. I kind of want to like have his arm like be up here. and therefore have the robe up here more. So that's that. Let's get rid of this. Do that. Okay, let's see here. Part of me also wants to, like, okay, so here's his waist. We could put the leg up like that, and then have the other one down like that. And actually it would be like stretched. Really push it. And that's just the first segment, but it would still, we can do this. This would be kicked up like that. I knew this panel was gonna be, this was like, everything was kind of culminating to this panel. I was like, oh gosh, this is gonna be really hard. This is gonna be a really hard panel. So I really need to like figure it out. Okay, so let me clean this up a bit more. So we have the leg, that coming down. And then of course, emphasize the curve of the leg there, push this out because this is the other layer. Up, down. Maybe have the arm more go like, or even crazier. That. Okay, let's start shaping the leg and foot. Actually gonna curve the foot down more. Have to draw into this panel to get it right. Maybe more like more down, because it's being swept off the ground. So like something like that. And then we don't even worry about drawing the foot. Just emphasize the leg. This needs to be pushed up. Alternatively, we go way up. And this kind of folds in like that. I'm gonna need to like get really kind of like chaotic with this. Because like his legs and stuff like that are gonna be like just whipping by. So maybe like just do one edge. Try that. Oh, come on. Oh, one other thing worth noting is if you do plan on getting Clip Studio Paint, wait for it to go on sale. It goes on sale semi-regularly, and it'll be like close to about half off. And what's really cool is, let's say you start with the Pro Edition, they give you a discount. They will give you a discount for upgrading. So if you later want to switch, you can do that. So it's worth it to wait for a good sale. Part of me, you know what? I'm going to try something. This might turn out horribly. We're gonna find out though. I want to take. There is a tool. What is it under? Where is it? Give me a second here. It's gradient. Where are all my tools? There's my pen. The cheaper cost on go. Yeah. Correct line. Okay, here's figure. Not that. Hold on. Let me. Okay, I think if I do this. No, hold on. Let's go edit. Is it transform? Perspective, mesh transform. Okay, here we are. Okay, so what mesh transform allows us to do is kind of it's basically like liquefy. So I can play around with getting a bit more of a curve out of it. I have to redraw everything. See what that looks like. It'll take it a minute because it has to think. A couple of things within the line work that might be a little screwy, but hold on. But let me we're a little close there, so let me redo that. Gonna probably like really emphasize the curve on that leg there. to really push that, and then actually I'm gonna give that leg a curve. Trying to really emphasize. So there's something within comics like you almost never want to really do in animation, and that is like speed lines. There are instances where it's like okay to do and whatnot, but like for the most part, you don't really want to like in animation. You want to show something moving fast. There's ways of actually just showing it moving fast. Now that's not to say that's not the same as smears. The smear is a distortion of the drawing itself. That's actually what you do want to use. What you don't want to use typically in animation is like lines indicating speed, like the messy lines of movement. Yeah, in a still image, right? Yeah. You typically want to avoid those. Because usually it indicates a crutch, like you don't know how to make something look fast, so you kind of indicate with speed lines. But in comics, you can get away with that a bit more. Being said, I'm not entirely sure I'm happy with that. Actually happy with the speed lines anyway. Actually. That looks bad. We'll do that. See what I can do with that hand. Kind of a chunky hand, but we'll make it work probably. I want to actually like have kind of this bleeding trail cut through here. That maybe. Hold on. Maybe more like this. Because he's still bleeding from the mouth and nose and face. Let's go ahead and I have an idea on what I can do with this to emphasize it. Like that. Well, there's a lot of energy getting there. Actually, hold on. What brush is this? This is a, I actually don't know exactly. It's called, oh shoot, it's a tilt brush. It's a pencil where you can essentially like tilt it and it gives you like different depth, right? Or different, so you can change it on the fly, right? So you can start thin and then go, or start thick and then go thin, or start thick and then go thick. It takes a bit of practice. I'm not great at it. It can be very useful for getting like depth though. I'm afraid I don't know the specific name of it. Let me just, out of curiosity, if I can like Google it and find it. Studio Paint tilt pencil brush. Is it? Kinda looks like it could be it. Honestly, there's a lot of brushes out there like it. So if you just look up like a pencil tilt brush or something like that in Clip Studio Paint, you'll find something that works for you. I'm actually gonna like keep this as like a negative space. This is gonna be like all dark in here. It'll give a really cool effect, like he's some kind of like phantom, just sweeping over him. So that'll be cool. Yeah. Okay. There's that. This one, I can almost just get off this one. Oh, I completely forgot one thing. I forgot the mask. How could I? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to actually import, just to make this easy on myself, I have a series of 3D objects that I will be able to use for reference. Let me go ahead and see if I can find it here. Shipwreck here. The mask. Did I say the mask? Did I say something about the mask? Alright. I'm gonna see if I can't get this into a position where I can I don't technically need this. I forgot it. One second, I'm actually gonna just delete this. That's gonna make it more of a hassle. The mask on this guy or the mask on this guy? Because this is the mask right here. This guy here. It's been shattered. And that's the mask there. So I don't think I forgot a mask. Okay. This I should be able to just do like so. I'm actually gonna Go down to 5. Gonna also exaggerate this. Foreshadowing. He's going right into that mast. Okay, so now we can go here. We can go figure ruler. I can draw a circle. I can kind of tilt it just a touch. And this will be the top of our will be the top of our barrel thingy. What happened? Okay. Why did you... No. Shrink this down there. There. This should work. Oh wait, what am I doing? It's not as thin as that. It's just inset just a little bit. Like that. 5. Make it slightly wider than parallel. Come on. Is that correct? I think that's correct. Good. Let's check it there. Turn you off. It might look a little scuffed, but it'll work, I think. Well. And one thing with this art style is it really, like, it doesn't really shine until color phase. Color is when I get to have all the fun. And really make these scenes sing. That's probably one of the things I'm most proud of with the comic is the color. Very happy, generally speaking, with how the colors have come out so far. Okay, I think that... yeah, that'll work. And how did I might have to reference... yeah, give me a second. I need to find the place where the mast is. I think there's a better further back. I know that there's one with the mast like really clear and present, right? Somewhere? Not there. Not there. Maybe this one? Yeah, let's check out this page. Nope. Oh, here we are. Yeah, okay, so I did a ring, and I can just do this one by hand. Hey, what's up, Adelans? Hope we're doing well. I need to think about where the ring would be. Okay, so this is going towards the front of the ship. He is currently behind the mast essentially. So it would actually hang over this way. We'll do. Hopefully I can get this. I should be able to freehand this. It has to look like a ring. That'll do. There we are. And these rings are actually used as anchor points for sails. I wonder if Styx is still reading the book. Hope I didn't fry his brain. That or I hope he didn't get bored. If you go into the book expecting action like this, you might be disappointed. I'm gonna say straight up, it's not really an action-oriented story. This is one of the few like pieces of like really just heavy, you know, violence in the story. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and sketch this out. Keep saying it's not secured. Let me take a look at the link again. Should be secure. Yeah, it's a secure link. Huh. There's not like anything crazy. It's just on NeoCities, which is a it's not like my domain or anything like that. Yeah, I'm not sure. That's weird. Huh. Well, let me know, like, if you get it working, let me know. Or if it just keeps on doing that, because I might need to do some testing. It'd be a real shame if people have been trying to get onto it and it's not. Antivirus or something? Yeah, I mean, I would imagine it would be like an ad block or something like that, which, you know, no blame or anything, but like for real, but it's not like a crazy website or anything like that. Try going to like just neocities.org. Also good to see you there, Guilty. Without, you know, the animated moon. Does it say the same thing if you just try to go to neocities.org? Because if it doesn't, then I might need to look into that. It should just be normal. Okay. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and I'm not gonna worry about sketching that out, but we are gonna. It thinks org itself is a huge virus, huh? That's weird. Let me look something up. I'm not seeing anything. Yeah, because all of this is it's NeoCities. It's a indie web site. NeoCity program and a bunch of features. There's also Nico Web. Instead of trying to improve small personal website discoverability, which is being like a platform for. Yeah, I'm not sure. Website isn't being blocked by your browser. Yeah, I don't know. Makes me curious what browser you're using. I don't know if you want to disclose that or not. Not sure. It should be fine. I haven't heard anything about being a problematic site or anything like that. I do need to like concern myself with like all the little things. I'll do that. And I want him to like look like he's kind of bending unnaturally. Just really emphasize that. Yeah, his back's broken. So, yeah. Gosh, I love drawing cloth. It's so much fun because you just get to do everything, all the fun shapes. Just really emphasize the movement. Let's go. Yeah. All right. All right. We're gonna move this up. How long is it? It's not that long, actually. Right, this way. All right. I'm trying to make it work eventually. Man, that's weird. Not sure. My only guess is because... So the way that NeoCities is set up, it's straight up just like people programming in HTML, right? So maybe it sees that and goes, whoa, like what's going on here? That's a little too, you know, close to the source, you know. I don't know. I have no idea. Who is this? I forget who this is. I know I've listened to this song. Oh, Robot Prince. Wow. Oh, Robot Prince and Rimcraft. Oh. A combination for the ages. Two of my favorites. Yeah, Robot Prince is good stuff. I've been listening to Robot Prince for a long time. Although I haven't listened to him in a while, actually, just in general. Actually, a friend of mine did some work for him. some pixel art work, which is fun. Rolando, Bien Motive. I just realized this is that. And hey, we get to see his well-drawn abs. That got him, man. It makes me sad that. Well, maybe Guilty will get that reference. Like, no one's gonna get that reference though. And it's a shame, doggone it. Everyone should know who Strong Bad is. For real though, if you want peak early aughts internet culture, like I'm talking like cream of the crop internet from like 2000 onward, do yourself a favor and look up homestarrunner.com. The website works again, which is super awesome. That makes me so happy. I actually have to remember how his abs are drawn, because he's friggin' weird. He has like, it's like stitching almost, not really like muscle groups. I actually have to look it up. 1 second. Where this one you can kind of see. Yeah, okay. So it's just kind of this weird stitch he has in his stomach. You probably won't really see that. Yeah. Instead, I'll just kind of emphasize sides. But yeah, he doesn't wear a shirt because it's hot out. So all he needs is a poncho. Keep himself from drying out. Um, I do like how this page came out. Okay. And we're gonna do the little eye holes because he has 4 eyes. All right. And then he actually has, dang it, why did I close that? The, I need to remember again. His sash, yeah, folds up over and drops down. So it should be kind of like this. There we go. Okay. Let me turn that off. This arm is going to be covered by that. Attempting to kind of bring the shoulder back even further and just like that. All right. Yeah, we'll go with that. Okay, let's go ahead and see if we can line these two. Oh, that's the thumbs, jeez. Yeah, so this is like the original concept. Very, very rough. Okay, so, but these, put that down. Once I get these panels done, I'm not gonna say it's all downhill from here because it's not, but oh man, this is gonna be a big step. I'm gonna try to get the line work done. For these two panels, we'll see what happens. Most likely, I don't know, we'll find out because it's just gonna be so demanding. Okay, let's start with this guy here. By this guy, I mean the fisherman, and by the fisherman, I mean his mask. One, two, three, four, five. Head to bed. Oh, goodness. Head to bed. All right. Have a good one. Take care. Part of me wants to show fingers here. Maybe not, but okay. Trying to figure out the nose here. Something like that. It's gonna be really minimal. What's up, dumb creature? Welcome back. Hope you're doing well. Come on. Come on. Kind of has chunky fingers. It's alright though. I am realizing though that I probably do need to like back here. If that works. A weird looking hand. We'll keep going. It would technically be more of an arc hand. I'm gonna try. This down. There, why not? Really give me the effect I was going for, but I think I fundamentally just need to kind of rethink. Should be fine. I may actually use the color to emphasize the motion a bit. I have ideas on how I can do that. Basically kind of smear the color. Kind of cool. Anything interesting happen? No. No, not really. Pretty basic-y week. Work picked up a little bit more, but other than that, yeah, not really much of anything. I'm okay with a nice simple week. The nice thing is, after this page, I don't really have to draw this character anymore. I have to draw him like one more time. That's pretty much it. He's kind of a pain. I don't want it to look like it's melting. I want it to look like it's jagged, sharp. Silk Song, I don't know if it's out yet. I gotta check Steam. It is out. People have been playing it and buying it and all that kind of stuff. In fact, I heard so many people bought it when it launched that it actually like brought Steam down to its knees, as well as like the PlayStation Store and the Switch Store, I think. Like that was like, it was just a freaking floodgate of buyers, like nuts, man. I mean, especially considering like it's $20, and like just like barring the original in mind, it's like it's gonna be worth it, right? It's like you're gonna have all the content you need to justify freaking $20, right? And it's like, yeah, a lot of people are gonna buy that just right out the gate. So yeah, no, like it's nuts. So that is really cool that it's finally out. It's kind of crazy, you know. The thing, it's like, wow, Silksong is finally out. I'm very curious, like what kind of game it is. Like I expect it's much like Hollow Knight, but like 7 years, right? Like or 8 years. How many years? It was like 2018 when it was announced or something like that. Team Share's done really well for this. They've done insanely well. It's crazy, man. Like friggin' struck gold on this one. But I am really curious, like how much more there is. You know, how comparable it is. Because I gotta, like... Hollow Knight took... How long did Hollow Knight take to develop? 1 second. How long did Hollow Knight take to make? About 2.5 years. The Kickstarter happened in late 2014 with the development taking over 2015 and 2016, but they all had been working for 6 months before the Kickstarter. It was working on 6 months before the Kickstarter. The Kickstarter was made in November 2014, so November minus 6 equals May 2014. The game was released 2017. They finished it 3 days before that, so the game developed since May. 2 years and 10 months. Like 2 to 3 years, yeah. Keeping in mind, like, all of the DLCs and stuff like that, like, all of that was basically released by 2018, the end of 2018, I'm pretty sure. So, like, 2 years, 2.5 years, 3 years, maybe at the most, like, 4 years, right? To develop Hollow Knight. And then you have Silksong, which you know they pumped money into, right? Like all that money they made on Hollow Knight, you know they put into Silksong. But they didn't hire a bunch of random people. They didn't like, it was all for the team that was already there for the most part. I think maybe they brought on like, actually, I don't think they brought on anyone else. So like, yeah, that, man, I'm very, very curious. I'll play it eventually. I'm thinking maybe picking it up next month, but we'll see. Now, I know for a fact I've written this song down. Who is this again? Oh yeah, DDR Care. Low Unlimited. But yeah, the only other studio I can really think of like that had that was friggin' like there's been like breakout successes and stuff like that for for people and whatnot, like friggin' Stardew Valley and stuff like that, but like what do you call it? Friggin' Hopu. Hopu's only made like a handful of games, and you know, they're doing like super well for themselves. I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty sad that friggin' Gearbox owns Risk of Rain now, just as a whole. I totally get, like, I don't blame Hopu for doing that. Like, that was like a friggin', they made bank on that, I'm sure. Just the whole process. But it is like, dang. Oh, there goes that IP. You know, I absolutely do not trust Gearbox. Maybe the people like working on the game are fine, but like Gearbox as a whole, I'm not crazy about like the direction they're kind of taking it. Demon hath arrived, the demon indeed hath arrived. The illustrious face cam has returned indeed. The illustrious. Now, it's not very illustrative right now because it's kind of dark. But that's alright. We have the luminance of screens. Alright, let's see. You're just in time to see someone get their back broken there, Demon. Lone artist illuminated by a tablet. Yeah. It do be gotten to have in a vibe. Good grief. Okay, maybe I've been streaming a little too long. No, you know all too well. I'm pretty sure most artists have. That's just kind of par for the course. Kind of had a, kind of sounded like Guy Sensei there. Kind of par for the course. Oh. Let's see here. This dude really shouldn't have gotten out of bed tonight. How awful yet rewarding it is. Embrace it. Honestly, like, the secret I found is just like dealing with a job. I mean, like, sometimes there's just like bad jobs, right? But for the most part, like, my kind of principle is like, just like embrace it, make the most of it. Getting a chiropractic adjustment, yeah, permanent one. In that context, that makes it kind of funny. Don't worry, sir. We'll fix your back up just fine. Do this. Oh, goodness. That sucks that I'm happy for you. But hey, the way I look at it, kind of the way I look at it is, you know, having a job is what allows me to be an artist. It's like, there's no way I'd be able to if I wasn't able to, like, get by, you know? Be way too stressed out. Okay, and I need to, oops, okay, so this has the is this. Having a blast so far? That's good. Honestly, that's a big key. Just work towards a job that's sustainable, gets you by, you can have some fun with. I will say, I'm glad I don't do just straight retail, though. And I'm glad I've never had to, actually. All right. Stripe goes on the other side, so I don't have to worry about that. I do need to worry about the little triangle doodads. Yeah, we'll do it here. And school starts on Monday. Yeah, like, honestly, getting out of the apartment, the house, the whatever, super important. Super important. So yeah, having a place to go to, like a job to go to and stuff like that, it's great. That's one thing that I really like. I'm able to walk to work every day, myself. So I have an excuse to get a walk in every day. And it's about 30 minutes of walking. So I'm like, heck yeah. So yeah, no, definitely having somewhere to go really helps. Just good routine. Okay, so I need to cut this like that. this would be like that. Did I reach a good stopping point on my animation? Indeed I did. I finished it. Finished the animation portion, at least. I do want to work more on it, like really polish it up, make it look good, and do all that fun stuff. Do some sound design as well. I'm on a little bit of a break from it, I would say, because, you know, it was a lot of work. But, yeah, E's done. I might send it to you after, just to check out if you want to see it. But yeah, I'll come back to it and, like, post it and stuff like that eventually. But I'm probably done streaming that specific animation. It was really fun. I can't wait to work on more animation, but I really need to get this done, you know? So, you know, this is gonna eat so much time. Yeah, it was super fun. There's like little things I might polish a little bit more here and there, but generally speaking, yeah, it's done. It's donezo. It was, man, that was so much fun though. I already miss anime. Why did I have to make a comic? I don't even read comics. I hate superheroes. Generally speaking, I'm not a big fan of superheroes. I do like comics. The ones that I actually sit down and read and find interesting. But, this. Okay. Nah, no case. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really care for superheroes. I'm more into characters who, like, they are just so clearly out of their element. It's actually why I do a lot of stories with, like, younger characters and stuff like that, because it's fun to, like, put a character in a situation where it's just like, okay, like, how in the world, like, they are so ill prepared to deal with this. How are they gonna, like, what's gonna happen, you know? I like stuff like that. Still wish it was summer. Gosh, I can't wait for summer to be over, honestly. Now, granted, I'm no longer teaching, so I don't have to worry about, you know, school starting up anymore myself. And it was, I will say, it was nice having summers off to work on projects. Just like go like hardcore, like work 6 to 8 hours on something, you know, every day. But the consistency is going to be a lot more, I think, beneficial in the long run for me, at least. I really can't wait for like fall. It's a little bit cooler. Cause doggone, it's been hot. It's been not like the worst summer, but not like an especially like cool summer either. So like, it's it's about time for summer to end, I think. I'm declaring it. I'm deciding. Time for summer to end. You can't wait for my apartment to cool down, you mean? Yeah, pretty much. That's what it comes down to. I can't wait for it to not be 82 in my apartment. That would be nice. I will happily take it to being like friggin' 59 in my apartment. I can friggin' wear a robe and feel like a wizard if it's that cold. Summer, I don't get to wear my robes. I am a wizard without my robes. Summer officially canceled. Too hot. Try again next year. I'm crazy. Yeah, probably. I will say, like, I'm pretty certain, because like all I have is like a heater in my living room, and so my bedroom doesn't get any heat. I'm not gonna heat my entire house, right? My entire apartment. So I have curtains that close off the kitchen. So I just heat my living room. It's super cozy. But it means that my bedroom is super cold. So it probably gets down that cold in there. But I have the power of an electric blanket. So I am nice and toasty and warm. And fine to sleep. I did, like, the first year I was here, I didn't have an electric blanket, though, so I had to sleep in my living room, like, the entire winter. That kind of sucked, I'm not gonna lie. Well, you know, it wasn't that bad, actually. I had a different couch at the time. And the couch was gross, but it was comfy. So, you know, it works out. I will say, I slept on a couch while I was in college, and it was, like, the best thing. Like, that thing rocked. I loved that couch. I think I named that couch. I don't remember what I named it, though. I love that thing. Maybe I called him Murphy, because it technically was a Murphy couch, or what, a Murphy bed. So I hope you have a good night. We do. Disregard. Sounds good there, Demon. If you don't come back, have a good night yourself. Can never have it that cold. I mean, 59 is a little cold. I'm kind of fatter, though, this year. Which reminds me, I need to get back into working out. I mean, I'm not fat, but, like, I got a bit more meat on my bones, I think, this year. So, we'll see. Maybe I'll be fine. I mean, it's got to be better than friggin' 82 in your apartment every single day. It's supposed to get colder though, coming up here, like this week, so that'll be nice. There's gonna be some rain even, actually, which will be nice. It has been muggy. I will say it's not been super hot, but my word, it has been muggy, like muggy, you know. Time is at 9:15. I might have to call it here. As much as I want to do this next one, I'm very happy with this panel, I will say. That sketch did the job, and I actually am quite happy with how this turned out. It's a little chaotic, but it's clear enough what's going on. Yeah. I was really hoping to get this panel done at least. My ultimate goal is I want to be able to get like a page done every 2 days. But these pages are just really annoying. I think I can do that for like, I'm certain I can do it for this page because it's only 4 panels. I can maybe do it for this one, although this page or this panel is going to be quite difficult. This one's not going to be too bad. This one's not going to be too terrible. This one with the background and everything might be a little tough. This one won't be too terrible, but it'll be a little bit of work. So this page won't be too bad. This page won't be too bad. This page will probably take a little while, just getting some things right. This will probably be the last like really tough page. And then there's the last page. This one will take a while, but it's one panel, it's one drawing. I can just kind of grind away at it. I do need to do the surrounding box and stuff like that. I'll have to figure out like a design for that. I don't have to worry about the cover. I already have the cover taken care of. But yeah, so I'll get to a better pace soon, hopefully. But yeah, that being said, I am going to call it here. We went for about 2.5 hours, which isn't too bad. I would like to put more time into it, but well, we'll see about that. That might just be it. What I can do, maybe. I don't know. It depends on the future. That being said, I am going to catch you guys later. I will be back, but I will not be back on Monday. Kind of important. I will be back on Tuesday. Probably around the time that I usually stream on Mondays, maybe a little bit later. I don't know how long I'm going to go. I have an appointment on Tuesday. That's why, basically, I'm actually taking Tuesday off instead of Monday. So that's why I'm going to be streaming on Tuesday. But it's early enough that I should be on time on Tuesday. I'm not going to stream on Monday. So yeah, I'm going to be at work actually. All that being said though, I will catch you guys later. Remember, Tuesday, probably around like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Going to try to get a lot of work in. Going to try to make stuff happen. All that good stuff. We are making progress. This page, I'm definitely going to have more done on this page. I'm probably going to have this panel done. I'm going to try to get to this as well, like tomorrow or something. But yeah, so I will catch you guys later. Have a good one. Take care. See you on Tuesday. Goodbye.